Hello chemistry students. This video is designed to help you understand what you need to turn in for your group presentation or your group project for your common summative assessment for Unit 1 in chemistry. And this first slide, is going to be part of your PowerPoint, but you're going to delete it before you submit your project along with several others. So as you watch through, look for the little yellow highlight stuff, because that tells you about things that you should delete before you complete your presentation. Before doing anything else, please save your PowerPoint and rename it using the following format. That is name _ period number _ length task project. So an example is shown below, Miss G _ period 1 _ length task project. And again, you can delete this slide before submitting your project because it's really not part of what we're trying to get you to show us. This length task project has several requirements. First of all, you're going to answer the question, what is the best route to travel to get from B103 to L121? And you're going to delete this slide before you submit your project. And you're going to fill out a PowerPoint template that we made for you that's just plain white and kind of boring. We encourage you to play around with color and images and add your own flair to it. But of course, it's the content that we're most interested in grading. And the slides that you're going to make, there are 11 slides. Slide number 1 is the title. Then you'll have a problem statement slide, materials, procedure, data. Slides 6 and 7 will be graphs, sources of error, extension questions, your scientific argument or CER, and then slide 11 will be an optional extra credit. This slide is another slide that you're going to delete, but we wanted you to have some time to look at it first before you delete it so that you can make sure that you have all of the components that you need in your presentation to get the best grade possible. So this is our grading rubric that we're going to use to determine what your score will be. And if you look at each section, you can see how many points each section is worth and how many points you can get for each of the things. For example, the very first section says that the presentation should be a PowerPoint recorded in video format, and you get 5 points if you turn in a PowerPoint with no audio at all, and so not a video. And you get 10 points if it's recorded in video format with voiceovers, just like we're doing here. This slide you should have seen before. This is the CER rubric that we use for all kinds of things. So it shows how many points you get for giving an accurate and specific and testable claim, and how many points you get for evidence, and how many points you get for reasoning, and so on and so forth. And again, this slide is one that you're going to delete before you submit your final project. So after you delete those instructional slides, this will be your first slide in your presentation. So you'll have your project name, you'll have the group member names, and you'll have your class period. And in the bottom right hand corner in yellow, again, the yellow highlight stuff tells you you're going to delete something. It says that you're going to click on each section to edit the text, and then you'll delete this box when you're done updating your slide. In this slide, you're going to write your problem statement. You're going to give a summary in your own words of the objective of the length task project here. This slide will have your list of materials. We've already started to create a bullet list for you, so you can just delete the text that you don't need and add in the text that you want to create a bullet list of all the required items needed to complete your task. You might want to add in pictures. It could help enhance your words. And a bullet list is the one with the little black circles next to the words. And PowerPoint automatically does this for you. So if you just click where we put the text there and delete our text and change it, as you hit enter, it should add new bullet points. In the section on the right, you're going to discuss your selected measurement device, its level of precision. You might say it measures to the ones place, or it measures to the tenths place, or whatever. And you're going to tell us what unit it measures in. On this slide, you're going to have a procedure, and your procedure is going to be in a numbered list. Again, PowerPoint can do this automatically, so if you just delete the text that we have and put your first step in there and then hit enter, it should give you the next number in your numbered list. So you're going to outline the procedures that your group created to complete your measuring task, And you're going to make sure that you write your steps with enough detail and in the correct order so that if another group were to follow your procedure, they would get similar results. This slide is going to be where you put your data. This one's going to be the one that takes you the most time to figure out what to put in here. So you're going to choose 3 routes around the building from between the 2 rooms that we told you to. And your goal is to find out which one is the most efficient, which one is the fastest. And you're going to do 3 trials for each of those routes. So for route number 1, you're going to do trial 1, 2, and 3. You're going to measure the length that you cover in that route, and then you're going to measure the time it takes to complete that. And so for route 2, same thing. For route 3, same thing. Then in the box on the right, you're going to make sure to discuss significant figures. How many significant figures do you have in your numbers, and is that the right number of sig figs? On this slide, we're going to make some graphs. So you're going to graph the data, and basically we've built the graph for you already, and PowerPoint is going to draw the graphs for you. So to do this, in the upper right-hand corner, see the little yellow box? It says right-click on the graph, choose Edit Data to modify the graph. And so you're going to do that. You're going to right-click on the graph, choose Edit Data, and then it's going to ask you to type in the data. And you're going to type it in, and it will draw the graph for you. And then, of course, you'll delete that little yellow box when you're done with the slide. So the previous slide looked at distance between the 2 points, room B103 to L121. And this slide is going to give you graphs of the time instead. So you're going to right-click on the graph, choose Edit Data, and then this time you're going to put how long it took to do each of the trials for each of those routes. On this slide, you're going to do sources of error. So you're going to make a numbered list of 3 sources of error that affected the outcome of your data. Now, when we talk about sources of error, we mean why is your data maybe not perfectly precise? And you should recall that you can never make a measurement that's perfectly precise. So why not? What could you have done differently to make it better? Or why might it not be perfect? Be careful here because we're not looking for things like maybe my lab partner didn't know how to measure distance. Well, we know that all of you have learned how to do that, so that shouldn't have been a reason that you had error. So you should be talking about reasons that you had error that couldn't be avoided, but they're reasons why your answer might not be perfectly precise. On this slide, you're going to answer 2 extension questions. The first one is, what is the length of the best path in kilometers? So you're going to convert the length of the best path into kilometers and explain how you did the conversion. Question 2 then says, Indianapolis is about 300 kilometers from Chicago, so how many trips using your best path is equivalent to this distance? And you're going to insert your answers and describe how you calculated your answer. And you're also going to show your answer visually by stacking the icon below. So you'll put the little running person as many times as you need to indicate how many trips using your best path would be equivalent to going from Indianapolis to Chicago. On this slide, you're going to give your scientific argument. So the prompt again is, what is the best route to travel to get between B103 to L121? You're going to write your claim here using a complete sentence. You're going to write your evidence using complete sentences and not bullet points. And you're going to write your reasoning there in the green using complete sentences, not bullet points. And for the last slide, you're going to give the extra credit answers. And again, these are optional. It says, using your route that you determined to be the best, time yourself during a live passing period to see how long it will take to complete the path with hallway traffic. Then answer the question below. Because keep in mind, we're going to be doing this in the middle of a class period when all the students are in their classrooms. And so it might be easier to get between different points. So could a 7-minute passing period be long enough to get to class on time? Why or why not? That's our first question. And then stop by your teacher's class to get a pass before you attempt the extra credit. This allows us to verify that you did it and keeps you from being counted tardy to your next class. And extra credit is earned individually. If you want to earn the points, you must do the task on your own. So you'll have the group member name, the time, and then their answer. And you'll do that for each group member that chooses to do the extra credit. And if you can't squeeze it all in there and you want to add an extra slide, that would be okay.